And welcome to another episode of Postpartum Connections. And I'm your girl Tashia, and I have another special guest here with me, Miss Saturnie Antoine. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, Miss Saturnie, she is a certified professional executive and relationship, femininity, and emotional health coach. She's a mentor, a speaker, author, woman of faith, and a prophetic seer. Oh, that's beautiful. Her passion lies in empowering women to develop healthier, both professional and personal relationships, habits from within. She utilizes her framework in Feminine Within Accelerator to help women experience lasting success in their business or career, leadership roles, and their love life. She earned her bachelor's degree from Florida Atlantic University and holds a certification in professional coaching from the University of Miami. All right. She has over 20 years of experience, and she has dedicated herself to studying the art of healthy relationships, nurturing emotional intelligence. Through her Flowing Love brand, she has positively impacted the lives of over 12,000 women. Wow, that's beautiful. By sharing her expertise, personal experiences, and result-focused framework, her approach goes beyond the surface level. So we're getting deep with these conversations.
That's right.
Absolutely. Her motto, "You're never stuck in life," reflects her core belief that with the right support, coaching, and guidance, any woman can achieve and maintain lasting success and fulfillment. She eagerly looks forward to continuing her work, helping more women experiencing enduring success in all aspects of their lives. Wow, that's beautiful. Yes. You know, when I hear this, when I was reading over this, all I could do was think about a village. You know, you're taking that coaching and that supporting concept and just going back to that one-on-one girlfriend love, that sisterly love, that support, you know, that mother-daughter, you know, grandmother, that going back to those roots. So how did you get into this? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna go and spread my wings and start coaching and supporting?
Yes, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Because you know what's honest about this whole thing?
Yeah.
I didn't think this is what the path was going to look like for me this year. My goal was to go to medical school.
Really?
Yes.
Medical school?
Medical school.
Is that why you went to FAU?
That's why I went to FAU. That's exactly why. Got my whole bachelor's.
What, in what, biology?
In biology, doing all the programs, had an amazing mentor, one of the deans at the medical school there at that time. He passed away, unfortunately.
Okay. I went to nursing school then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, that's where I got my BSN.
Oh,
at
listen,
FAU.
you see, I'm telling you, we were right around that time with
Yes.
It's interesting, right? I mean, the medical field is a beautiful field, and so wanting to be there, when it was time for me to actually pursue it after I graduated, I just felt this shift, right? It's almost like, okay, this is what you want to do your whole life. You're studying for this, you're going for it. But then there was a pivoted moment where it was like I was given a choice. And I just felt a stir within me where it was like, you have a choice. So I remember I had a conversation with my mentor, the dean of that medical school, and I told him, you know what, this is what I'm feeling in my heart. He's like, you know what, take a week, go home, think about it, and you come back and you let me know what you decide. You know, you won't disappoint me. This is your life, and I'm grateful that he did that.
Wow. Had you gotten into medical school?
Well, I was on the path towards applying and doing everything to enter.
So you took the MCAT and wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
right there.
Okay.
So it was interesting. So when I told him this, I didn't want to disappoint him because he was
Yeah.
such a great mentor. But he's like, no, this is your life. So a day before I went back to speak to him on campus, he says I read a devotion. I was praying about it. I'm like, God, like, why do I feel this way? And I opened a devotional, and the title of the devotional was Purpose versus Career. And he was like, a career is something, exactly how many years, 4 years of this, 4 years of this, like after graduate.
Yeah.
But it's like a purpose is what you were born for.
Yes.
You don't need to know all the details. You're going to have to rely on the one who made you to lead you through the purpose. So it's like you are actually made for that.
Right.
So when I read that, I knew I had a choice to make.
Wow. Wow.
And it was a tough decision, but you know what? I have zero regrets about it now because it makes sense. And as I started, so when I gave up medicine and I decided to go into professional coaching work, because I started realizing little clips and moments in my life where God was revealing to me, don't you realize women were always drawn to you? You were 18 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old, and these older women at the time, 40, 50, you think they're older, but it's like now, you're there.
Yeah.
And it's like they were coming to me with questions and talking to me about their marriages and their relationships and their stress. And for me, I thought it was normal. But then it was like, no, like people don't just go up to people and open up like that. Like, this is your gift. This is your purpose. Women need you.
Right.
So it just made it so much easier. So I pivoted.
Okay.
And that's when I went into coaching, and I haven't looked back since. And I literally just reached 9 years doing this just last week on the 18th of February. And
Wow.
I have zero regrets.
Wow.
'Cause
So you've been coaching and doing speaking and engagements for over 9 years now.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That's a beautiful thing. That's a
so
beautiful
much.
thing. So when I was reading through and going through my research, and you speak about femininity, right? So what is that? What exactly is that? And I mean, I get it. We're women, right? Okay. But when you speak on that term, and when you're holding these gatherings and you're coaching your women, what are you saying when you're saying femininity?
That's a beautiful question. And I love it so much because I feel that the world has placed this different variation on it. Like people's like, oh, it's like this is my feminine season. It's a dressing thing. It's a perfume. It's hair.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, that's part of it.
Okay.
But I said, if that was the case, then it would be so easy. You're born, you just get dressed up, then you're feminine, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. It's not just the looks, but it's an energy, I like to call it.
Okay.
It's the way in which you relate to others, especially the opposite sex. It's the way you show up into a room without having to strive for anything and have to prove anything, but your essence alone, it speaks. People are drawn to that. So it's an inner thing. It's an inner work that's done that allows you to just naturally flow in relationships, whether it be personal, romantic, business, in the workplace.
Right.
You can't help it because, and I usually like to describe it this way, right? If I went to the gym and I went running and I'm sweaty, there's something I can do. Like I could come into the room and say like, hey, I smell great. You're going to smell the sweat. But if I take a nice shower and I put perfume and all of it and I walk into a room, I don't have to say anything.
Makes sense.
You're going to sense it.
You're gonna sense it. You're gonna be able to smell it. You're gonna be able to see it. You're gonna be able to walk into it. Okay. I like that. So what does in that aspect of femininity, when we're talking about that, why is it important for us to understand what it is, and then how as mothers do we work within that during this parenting journey for all of our viewers out there who are parents?
Yes, especially for mothers, because I think people think of femininity and they think of just for themselves. I think that's where it begins. And I'll even go even further to say this is the energy in which you reach, but there's a journey towards it.
Okay.
And I always equate femininity to operating with lightness. It's not something you force. It's effortless. However, this is a place you reach because there's a lot of trauma, there's betrayal, there's past relationships, there's things that women have faced with their parents in the past that shapes you.
Wow.
So all these different levels of trauma in relationships, parenting, bullying when you were a little girl, and that divorce that you've been through, like all this emotional weight, they have a way of stripping a woman from the essence of who she was, that hardens her, that makes her feel betrayed. So it's like she's been stripped. So now that she's she's a woman, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's navigating life. Now all these things are still weighing on her. So if femininity is the essence in which you walk into relationships, into the world that allows you to naturally be, and you have all these past baggages that's holding you back, then you're so weighted down that you can't even relate and show up and care and be free with your children to pass on what you want to, because you yourself as a woman, you're still navigating things that's holding you back.
Wow.
So it directly impacts parenting, because a lot of women, they feel guilt, and all the different things they're feeling, it blocks them from being able to be the parent that they actually want to be to their children.
Right.
So how can you be that to your children when you can't even be that with yourself first?
Oh my goodness. How do we know that? How do we get to the point where we recognize that we even have trauma, or that we have things that are blocking us? Because, you know, as a mom, we take on the world, right? We take care of the household. We make sure that the kids are taken care of, and we're making sure to show up where we need to show up. Even the birthing process, you know, we're trying to show up as our best selves to bring forth that life. If we don't even know that there's something occurring, how can we work to heal from something like that?
Oof. And you know what? A lot of women, because we take on so much in this world, we don't often create a space for us, because there's guilt. Well, I have all this baggage, but let me just shove it in a closet because the husband's depending on this, the kids are depending on this, my coworkers are depending on this. Like, so there's so much that's attached to a woman. So you know what I often see? Women don't even realize what's going on because they're so busy taking care of everybody else. And they're crumbling on the inside. So one of the things that often helps, I've seen it in coaching. So it's like when I see a woman, it's sad because a lot of times they reach a point of like, I can't take this anymore. And then they start seeking out support. And then that's when a lot comes up. So I think coaching is a great place. But therapy could be a good place, but you need to know when you need what. That's a whole different conversation. Coaching, when you need coaching and when you need therapy.
So those are two different things.
They are two different things. They're similar, but it focuses on different things. For example, like with therapy, it's a great tool. Let's just say you've been through something very traumatic and you've never dealt with it.
Right.
You need a space to unpack it and to sit with it.
Right.
That might be therapy. But if you're aware of what you've been through, but you need to go to the next level, you need to be unstuck from what happened.
Okay.
That's coaching.
So is that more like, is it motivation and hand holding? Or is it like what makes that coaching get you to the next level? Or is it like a sports coach in that sense? Like,
yes, and I think it's based on because coaching is really it's focused on results. It's like results focused, right?
Okay.
So we do unpack. We sit with the pain. We sit with the emotion. But then you have a goal you're trying to get to. And my job as a coach, and a great coach will also have that in mind to get you there. Not just to talk about it. It's, well, what do you want to be? Let's just say, you know what? For a long time, my parents always spoke words of, you know, you're not enough. You're not beautiful. And so now in my marriage, in my friendships, in the workplace, I have imposter syndrome. Okay, we talk about it. We create a space to talk about it. But the goal is to reach a point where you're no longer impacted by it and you're flowing with feminine energy, with lightness, with the way you view yourself, very elevated.
Right.
That's the goal.
Right.
So as I create the space for you, now let's talk about the ways in which to get you there.
Wow.
Therapy, on the other hand, if you've never dealt with it, it's a space to process it. Yeah.
Got it.
So you have to know which one you need.
Right. What kind of like tools or tips can you leave our viewers in really trying to recognize, like, okay, you know what, I could benefit from you? What kind of tools and tips can you leave for them when they're looking at themselves and saying, okay, I hear you, and I want to be able to tap into that femininity energy? What would you say?
Yeah, I think honestly the first thing is to, and I'm gonna go a little deeper with this, before I even share the tip, I want to give women who are listening an invitation to let go of the guilt. Because
That's hard, Saturnie. How do
know.
you do that?
Oof.
I walk. I'm gonna be very transparent. I walk in mom guilt all the time.
Oof.
I walk in mom guilt all the time.
Now let me ask you this: what allows that guilt to show up for you usually?
I don't know. When I feel like I've dropped the ball with one of the children, you know, when somebody is upset, when somebody's sad, you know, or when I get them to school late.
Okay.
You know, so those moments where you feel like, where I feel like, you know, things could be just a little bit more tight and on schedule, and it veers off because one of the balls that I'm juggling has dropped. It didn't shatter, but it dropped, and then I'm fumbling to pick it up, or I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it right there, and I'll come back for it later. That's where I get.
Okay.
That's where I get.
I'm glad you said that. Now, if I were to ask you, if you had a chance to actually get them on time, to not drop the ball, would you have done it? If you had the opportunity to do that, would you have done it?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, yes.
I
Because it happens. It
Right.
happens. It happens. It doesn't happen. Like, so those moments when it doesn't happen, it's just like, damn, shit, like, get it together, right? So.
And the reason why I asked you that question is because I wanted to share this with our viewers too, is that most time, because we have to look within, right? And so I just asked you this question: if you had a chance to, you would have.
Right.
So the fact that you didn't, it's not because something is wrong with you, it's just that you're juggling the balls and one of them ended up falling.
Right.
So a lot of times, for me, I like to go deep, Tashia. I like to go into the root of stuff now, you know, and for me, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, okay, let's see what's underneath that. Then maybe it's a lack of grace for self. Maybe it's perfectionism. So for me, where it's like the guilt is there, but what's underneath the guilt?
Right.
And sometimes you'll be surprised to realize that probably came from maybe childhood, where a parent expected you to be perfect.
Right.
And now we have to go deal with that little girl.
Oh, wow. We got to deal with the little girl? We got to go back? You guys trying to go back? Even though it would be nice, because then I don't have to deal with the adulting part. You know, adulting is not fun.
Yeah.
As much as when we were young and 16 and growing up, and we were like, hey, I can't wait to do this. And I laughed so hard to, like, inside. We were having a conversation with my oldest, and, you know, she had made a comment of she can't wait till she's 18 so she could do what she wants. And in my mind, I totally went to, girl, you don't want to be no adult right now. Like, you have no idea.
What it takes,
No idea.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just sitting here trying to set you up to being able to fulfill your purpose in life. And then that's the other thing too, you just being able to recognize, you know, as a mom, and not to impact or impart any trauma. How do we maneuver in a space to not impart trauma as we're raising our children?
Ooh. And to me, this is why I think this conversation is the most pivotal. Because sometimes we think it's just us. No, this work that we're doing, it will overflow into the next generation, because a lot of this is learned unknowingly. So for a mom, what I would say is, that's why I said the guilt part, because once you can remove it to realize, you know what, taking care of me is not selfish, it's self-full, because now I can overflow into my children. Now you've taken away whatever guilt, whatever fear, whatever it is that's going to block you from the next thing I'm going to share, which is to create time for you. Because that space of you sitting with yourself and gaining that level of awareness, that's what starts it all. Now you can pinpoint on all the different things going on, and you can work on it. If it's fear, if it's pain, if it's trauma, creating that space to work on it, now you're in a position now to give to your children the things that now you're learning as an adult. So that's why I say it's not selfish to create time for you, because how can you pass something new to your children if it's still in the closet for you?
Oh, wow. Oh, that was good. That was good. So self-care, what does that mean for you?
Oof.
What does that mean to you? Like, or what does it mean, I guess, and is it important? Because we have families out there, we deliver, we have multiple children, right? We go through this postpartum period where we may have some baby blues, postpartum depression, and we really try to find the time to take care of ourselves. So what is self-care?
Oh.
And why is it important?
Oh, yes. And you know me, like I said, I like the depth of stuff. So I'm going to give you a depth answer.
Okay, let's go. We're already in it. We drowning in this. We deep out in the ocean. So let's do that. Let's do it.
Because I think mothers specifically, they're going to need it, right? So I'll share the surface and we'll go a little deeper. I think, because oftentimes I see people talk about self-care on the surface level.
Okay.
Like, okay, go to a spa, which is important. Go get your nails done, which is important.
Right.
Go for a massage. All these things are great, especially after you give birth, there's stress on your body, you have a newborn, all of it. It's important for you to pull away. Again, that guilt. It's okay, dad can handle it for a time. It's okay, let family take that hour. Take 2 hours, right? To really refresh, because again, when you come back, you're in a better mood. Your baby is going to be able to bond with you differently because your mood is lighter, your spouse, all these different things, right? So unplugging for an hour or two is going to be fine. So creating those moments where you can do something for yourself, to me, that's self-care at the
surface level. That surface?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Surface.
I can. Okay. So go deep. Tell me what is self-care for real? Okay.
Now the deeper level of self-care, because now once you put yourself in a position where you're like, yeah, I'm worthy of an hour or two. I'm worthy of unplugging. You're rewiring your mind to start seeing yourself as someone who's also deserving of a break, deserving of rest, deserving of, because a lot of us as women, it's not like you don't believe it, but your action doesn't even show you that. And people don't learn through words, they learn through action. So if you've been showing yourself that you're not worthy of it because you've never been able to take the time, by you doing that now, you're retraining your mind. Well, I'm actually worthy of rest.
Wow.
And so you start seeing yourself differently.
Wow.
And then now we can go a little deeper. Now that you see yourself as worthy of it, well, let me see what else I can do for me.
Okay.
And then that's when I think it's important for women to look at the different aspects of who they are. Because I tell people all the time, people think we're just a body.
Yeah.
But no, we live in a body, but we are a spirit.
We're spiritual beings.
We're spiritual beings.
Absolutely.
So we have a spirit that lives in this body.
Yes.
And then we have a soul, which is our mind, which is our emotions, which is our the things we do. So it's like, so then if I'm a spirit and I have a body and I also have a soul, we take care of our mental health.
Yes.
We try to, at least. We try to take care of that, and we try to take care of the physical body. But how about the emotional health? How about the spirit health? How do we take care of that spirit that's active in our bodies, right? So for me, when I think of self-care, I think of, well, the different components of me. How can I take care of all these things?
Okay.
How do I take care of my mind? How do I take care of my emotions? How do I take care of my body? How do I take care of my spirit?
Right.
And then now I'm looking at the totality of me as a woman, so that when I show up into a room, into my home, and
all
as a parent, as a leader, the full woman is cared for.
Wow.
And not just the body.
Right. And then we're coming from an aspect of us aligning ourselves with ourselves. So, a lot of people depend on outside to pour in.
Yes.
So that way we can be full to being able to pour in other places. Is that something that we should move away from when we're talking about this self-care or this journey? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it could be balanced, right? I've seen women who are totally codependent, where it's like because of pain and the different things they've experienced, it's like do for me.
Right.
And I've also seen the opposite too, of women who are like, I'm doing everything on my own because my father betrayed me, and so now I don't trust anybody. It's not like I'm independent, I just don't want to be betrayed again, so now I'm doing everything on my own.
Got it.
So different women's experiences impacts how they show up.
Yeah.
So to me, it's about balance, right? If you find yourself in the end of the spectrum where you're like doing everything on your own, well, how do you balance it where you can receive help? And then also, so I think to me, it's finding a middle ground.
A middle ground.
Right, yeah.
And that can be hard sometimes, surrendering to being able to get help, in this postpartum journey. I remind a lot of moms, like, it is okay, because you had mentioned, like, let dad, like grandma, and it is okay to being able to just step back and allow those that want to help you. And I find that to be a little bit difficult at times, and in recognizing that, okay, well, this, whether your space is sacred to you because you just want to just kind of protect, or being able to recognize that it's okay that people do things differently. And I find that to be a little bit hard for some people, and then they drive themselves.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to, just like you've mentioned, to create your own village. Sometimes we allow society to dictate what should be. And I see this happen all the time, but it's like, you can take ownership of your own life. Like, okay, yeah, the whole world is doing it this way. What works for my home, for my schedule, for my children, for my spouse, what works for me? And then actually sit. And I think, to me, one of the biggest things I want to leave here too as well is, like, it's okay to take ownership of your journey. Like, don't let society dictate what it should look like. Sit with you, observe, like, what is it that I need, and then craft a plan according to your needs.
But that's hard. We're in this, I know, right? When we go into this spiritual realm, we're saying we're in this world, we're not of this world, but we are still in this world. We still have rules. We have, social media. We're living in a capitalistic society. How do we work around not being able to shut off those aspects when they're in our face all the time?
Yeah. You know what's beautiful about what you just said is that, and again, I think it goes back to being able to sit with you, right? Because sometimes, even if those things are all around us, we have a choice as to what we allow to influence our decisions. Sometimes it happens subconsciously. Oh, I consume this, and it's like, oh, I'm automatically drawn to doing it, versus sitting with you and then making a decision. Yeah, I just consume this. The world wants this to happen. Government is saying this. TV is saying that. Social media is saying this. And sometimes we just do it. Versus, okay, all this is coming. All this information is coming at me. Let me sit with it. What works for me from everything?
Right.
And you've mentioned something as well, Tashia, when you said, like you mentioned the spiritual realm. I love that you mentioned it.
Yes.
Because to me, that's a big layer too, because if you're a believer, not everybody has to be.
Right.
But if you are a believer, I think, why navigate the journey by yourself? Because you're a spirit, right?
Yes.
And God has a spirit too.
Right.
So if that's the case, and he knows, again, that's for believers, and he knows the end of time, why not just ask? Imagine, okay, so let's just say I'm here, right? You know that I have access to, 500 bottles of sparkling ciders.
Right.
Okay? And then you're in need of 20.
Okay.
And I'm here, I'm a kind person, this and that. Would you go to a random whatever and just be like, where do I get 20 bottles of sparkling cider? And you're stressing about it. Would you do that? When you know
When I know that you have it? I mean, no, I would ask. I would ask if you,
I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
Because to me, people have the Holy Spirit, for those who are believers, and then they're trying to figure everything out on their own. You know what the biggest success has been for me is because I used to be that way, like because it's not like I was a controlling person, but sometimes you feel like, again, you want things to be done perfect, and perfectionism.
Yes.
So you try your best to try to dictate what goes what. But I had to learn to surrender that, because I'm driving myself crazy trying to figure all this out, when there's somebody who knows the end from the beginning, who knows what's supposed to happen. I could just go and be like, hey, give me spiritual insight on what to do. And it's downloaded, and now I have clarity about everything. Wow. That has been a game changer for me.
Wow.
Because now I'm like...
But that takes work on the spirit level, though, right?
It does.
Because even for believers, right, you can still struggle in that aspect, because you may not necessarily hear or see it or feel it, and because you believe, and and then you ask, but then there's silence.
Oof. I'm glad you said that too. You know why? Because I think a lot of us, we're trained, we don't even realize the thing that blocks us from being able to hear. You know how when you spoke about all the different channels, social media, all these things?
Yeah.
These are all noises. Well, guess what? They're spiritual noises too that blocks us from being able to fully hear. So that's why for me in the work that I do, it's so important for me to take care of all these different parts of women.
Wow.
Because if I'm only giving you tips and I'm supporting you at one level, and then the other level that's going to allow you to feel the most peace, I'm not supporting you there, then you're still going to be blocked.
I see.
So I think one of the biggest things for me is, okay, so you're not hearing at the spiritual level. Why? Let's dig through that so we can find a solution. You're stressed at the emotional level. Where is it rooting from? And to go back to what we spoke about earlier, and also to kind of tie it back to how all those different components of us, Tashia, like they connect.
Yeah.
So let's just say, for example, this is beautiful. A woman grew up without her dad.
Yes.
And then now she's become very guarded towards even her spouse because like, I don't want you to disappoint me. So she's very guarded and independent.
Right.
Not because she doesn't want to be loved, but she's afraid of, and there's a wall. Well, guess what? Because that was her experience emotionally.
Okay.
How do you think she's going to relate to her father spiritually?
Wow. Wow. So this is, wow. Because I'm sure you get a lot of I don't knows,
Yes.
right? You when you ask those questions, you know, what's going on? What's going on emotionally for you? Why are you blocked spiritually for you? And it's like, I don't know, right? So how do you dig? How do you get to the knowing?
Yes. And that's what I absolutely love about my work. This is what I love. I love coaching for that. And I think this is what God was trying to show me all along. It's like, you want to go to medical school, but I've given you a gift. Even when I was in coaching school, it's crazy. Like my classmates, I'll never forget. At the end of it, they pulled me aside. You're like, hey, I know we all started this program together, but for you, this is a gift. What made you say that? We were all studying together.
Right.
So it's amazing because it's like, this is what I was purposed for. So now when I sit with clients and we have, like you've mentioned, I don't know. Okay, so now let's dig a little deeper so that we can find the answer. Because you know what's crazy? The answer is always there within a person. We just have too much noise around us and also a lot of women haven't they have not created the space to sit with someone to look within.
Wow.
Because we're so busy.
Right.
So when I said earlier, like the biggest things is start to create time for yourself. Sometimes you don't even know what to start with yourself.
No.
Talk to a coach, hire someone, talk to a coach, join a group community, whatever you must do.
Right.
Because I promise you, the moment you start creating that space to look within, the answers will overflow. And a really good coach, I tell people this, don't just hire someone just randomly.
Right.
A really good coach who cares for you, they will pull it out. Because as you're saying one thing, they're going to be like, well, she said this. And people say things they don't realize all the time. And it's my job, like I'll give you an example for me, it's my job as I'm listening to someone to pick up on the things that they don't even realize they said themselves. And for me to bring it to the surface for them. You said this. I did, yeah. Let's talk about it.
You're like, did I say that? Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was I gotta come back. That was a lot. That was a lot right there. So I guess, all right, so just to shift gears really quickly, in your new book, right? We have it here, right here, and it's The Power of True Feminine Woman, right? Reclaim inner peace and success in every relationship, even if you felt stuck for years, right? So inner peace and success in every relationship. So for my mothers out there, would this be able to help them with their relationships with their children? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And this book was birthed from my own journey.
Yeah.
Like my journey was, I share my story in there, and I have like a whole guide for women because one of the things that I've seen in writing it is just, and God told me, you need to write it. You need to write it. That was like, I'll never forget last year, April 9th, I'll never forget. It's like, if you don't put this book out, I'm blocking everything else. Like, this is what you need to focus. And I had to be obedient. And I felt God said to me, share your story. You know, you've been through many different things mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I was blocked in all the things I'm telling you, Tashia, I was blocked in a lot of those ways too.
Wow.
I was frustrated.
Wow.
And then I had to go through like a 15-something year journey of figuring it out. And God's like, it took you all that time, and I've been pushing you and stretching you and working on you. Now I want you to package it for women in a book so that they don't have to wait all that long.
Wow. Wow.
And that's what I
that
did.
was nice of you to be able to share that. Yes.
I'm so honored.
Absolutely. So you wrote this being able to just share with other women on how to be able to heal from within and tap into their feminine spirits, so to speak, to be able to find inner peace.
Yes.
Wow.
And I in there I talk a lot about things that happen to us. I talk about the different emotional wounds we face. I talk about how things that we've been through in our past relationships, trauma, parenting, how it can impact us. I talk about how we grow up sometimes. I talk about relationships. I talk about dating, marriage. I talk about business, like the workplace.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of work cultures are very shaky because we're people. If I'm a certain way at home, I'm very guarded, and how do you think I'm going to show up as a leader? If I'm managing a team and I'm struggling within, but then when I get to work, I want to be seen as polished, it's going to overflow to my team too. So all these different things.
So even with you trying to mask it, it's still gonna come out.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And I'm sure we've all seen it. Yeah. You may see a coworker, man, this person is difficult, but when I see that difficult coworker, I see the soul behind it. I see the hurt, but the world won't see it.
Right.
But there's always a root.
There is.
You know,
there's always in like something going on.
Yeah.
In which leads to a person,
Yeah.
you know, something as simple as even when I teach breastfeeding or in supporting that breastfeeding process, you have to realize that when some women don't even want to do it because of what may have occurred, because that is it's a very sacred space, right? You know, and the way that you look at that, you know, so whatever trauma or what they were taught, or you know what their village looks like can lead them to not want to do something as simple as we may take it as you're just feeding your child, but no, it's not. It's a little bit more than that.
That's it.
It's a little bit more than that.
That's it.
Wow.
And you see how I love how you brought that in. Somebody will be like, what's the big deal about breastfeeding? But then if you didn't deal with that trauma yet, that experience yet.
Yeah.
So now look at that sweet little baby wanting to bond, but I love how you brought that in, because you see how it can easily overflow into everything.
Yeah. And that's, you know, in this episode, just really wanting to just tap into recognizing that sometimes it is okay to not be okay, but then figuring it out, how can we get to that space, and recognizing that self-care, self-love, and not just the surface self-care, right?
That's right.
We're talking about like the whole person, that emotional, that spiritual, and then that physical, which is hard to do. Like I my hat's off to you to being able to get to that space, because I'm sitting there listening to you and I'm like, I got work to do.
But I also want to encourage you and the moms watching,
Yes.
simply because you know what's interesting too? Sometimes it feels the hardest. And before I even say what I'm going to say, I give you a lot of congrats for even being able to say that. You see the awareness I'm talking about? Look how a simple conversation is giving you the awareness. Wow, I have work to do. Yeah. To me, that's a beautiful start. Because now the awareness is here.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the first thing I wanted to say. For moms listening as well, if you're saying the same thing, that's a beautiful thing, you know. But the second thing I also want to say is, it doesn't have to be hard. Sometimes it's hard. Like if I've never been in farming and that's my first day out there just to volunteer, I'm going to be like, this is a lot. What?
Yeah.
That's not my world.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you have a seasoned farmer who's like, oh, I'm gonna show you everything, how would you feel?
They'd be more comfortable, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, when I see moms, that's why I say don't do life alone. That's one of my mottos. Don't suffer alone. Seek help. For me, a lot of the clients or the women that I serve, you know, even with here, you know, with the doulas we work with, a lot of them feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
But guess what?
Yes.
When you enter into a space and you know, okay, someone is here to guide me along this journey, it's not it's not just on you now. You have a coach. You have someone to sit with you to guide the process. And if this person truly cares about you and you know that they're going to be able to support you, now all you have to do is just show up, be vulnerable, and they're going to help you. So I hope that takes the load too off of women, where it's like, now I don't know where to start. No, with the right support, it's going to be very easy. Like I've seen people, Tashia, like women that I've served, who's been stuck for like 20 plus something years, 10 something years after a divorce, maybe 5 years. It's like, what do I, and then within 3 to 6 months, you're in a whole different space. I see it all the time.
Wow.
So it's doable.
It is doable.
Yeah.
It is doable. That's beautiful. So you work with doulas as well?
Yes, with the Healthy Start, with their doula programs,
Yes.
taking care of the doulas there 100%.
That's
because they're
beautiful.
the ones doing the work. Who's
Yes.
pouring into them?
Yes.
So a big shout out to the Healthy Start.
Yes, the Healthy Start doulas. If you need a doula, you go through Healthy Start, and they through Connect, and they will get you linked with a doula during this time. You know, postpartum, labor doulas, and that is very true. Us as birth workers, we do, and we hold on to a lot of things. When that young lady passed away, that midwife, I follow Jenny Joseph. She's one of the midwives that I follow, and she went online and she's like, you know, this is just a check-in. I'm checking in because you had this first-time mom. She did the work. She was making moves in the community, and then, you know, she passed away, you know, after childbirth, and it was sad. It was sad because that's the work that she was trying to prevent.
Exactly.
You know, and so she said it. When she came on the live, she said, "I'm just checking in. We have to remember to take care of each other." So the fact that you're doing that healing work with the doulas out there in the community is amazing.
Yes.
And being able, so then that way they can show up
Yes.
for their clients. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful testament too of the heart of Healthy Start too, just to even acknowledge that, you know, yes, we have this program of doulas helping our community,
Absolutely.
but they also need to be poured into.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of them as well, they've been through a lot.
Yeah.
They've lost, like, so I think
Which is why they got into the work.
exactly.
Which is why they got into the work. It's through their experiences and trying to continue to make it better. Yeah,
We want to
that's
make
awesome.
sure that they're really greatly taken care of, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. So, for a mom that is out there, that is looking and recognized, and how can we go about, number one, getting in touch with you for your services, but then are they in a package or in a way to where, you know, we can even afford, because not everybody, you know, in this economy that we're living in, you know, how do you get this work done, and how do people reach you, and then how do you help those that may not be able to?
Yes. So we have different ways of supporting our ladies. Like, I have a big heart for my community, right? So I have this business, but I think really behind it is service.
Okay.
That's where I am. So
Okay.
depending on where a woman is, it's different, right? So for example, I work with 111. For those who want 111 services, they can always reach me at coaching@flowingl.com. We have a conversation that's always complimentary, because for me, what I do is very relational. I want to know you. I want to understand your needs. Like, I want to build that connection with you. And then from that conversation, we craft the perfect package for you, right? So that's for one-on-one.
Okay.
We go from there, okay? We also have group coaching that we do. So for those, let's just say, who may not be able to afford the one-on-one services, I have, you know, different partnerships. For example, right in the community with the Heart Community Resource Center.
Oh,
You know,
yes,
that's
yes.
completely open, where people can come, they can join the group program that's already covered for you. It's complimentary. So
Gotcha.
see, so there's different ways in which you could still receive the support right in the community. And then when you're ready, if you like, I need deeper level one-on-one support, then you can transition into that with me. But I'm always out here supporting my ladies in one way or another. So.
Absolutely. And the Community Heart Center, what day are you there and the time?
So right now I'm there on Mondays.
Okay.
And we've expanded it on Zoom now because it was in person.
Okay.
And a lot of the moms, if they're traveling or if they don't have a transportation or they're working, so now it's on Zoom. We meet for the entire year, every other Monday.
Every other Monday.
So that's 24 sessions.
Okay.
And all you have to do is just register for it, and then you get the Zoom link. It's from 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern time. So you jump in. We have a great conversation.
6:30 to 7:30. You register through the Heart Center link.
You can register through the Heart Center link, or you can send an email to connect@flowingl.com. I'll send the link over to whichever way you want to do.
Gotcha.
And you can register for it.
Every other Monday from 6:30 to 7:30. Okay.
Yes.
So is it hybrid or is it only via Zoom?
It's hybrid.
It's hybrid. So you're actually at the actual location.
Well, we go hybrid in person. I think we're going to do it like maybe throughout the year, maybe like 3 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
To have like an in-person at the center. But then outside of those days, it's
via Zoom.
It's via Zoom. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. And then where can we get your book?
Yeah, so the book is on my website. I'm very excited.
Yes.
I hope I've been, first of all, I want to say how honored I've been to be able to share this. Like, what humbles me about this is to honestly hear the heart of the women. It brings me sometimes to tears. I didn't know like the story and it would have that impact. So for anybody who gets this, I hope this is the exact experience for you as well. And you can get on my website, flowingl.com. And if you go to the tab of services, you'll see book. Or also, I'll share the direct link with you. And you can just click it. It's an audio as well for those who like to go running and whatever.
Yes. The whole audio books is definitely a thing.
Yes, and also one thing too, for those, because you were asking me like where do we get started? There's also a workbook with this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's in the book or is it separate?
It's separate for people who want to get the workbook. And that workbook I've crafted for exactly that. Women who's like, I'm not ready for coaching yet, but I want to start doing the inner work. After each chapter, I have in-depth coaching questions that's meant to help you start digging within to see what's there.
Okay.
So I also encourage that workbook because I promise you, after you read it as you're filling it out, you're going to be like, oh, wow. There's a lot of things in front of me, but also it works you through on how to like fix it. Okay. So I hope that's helpful too.
So I love your results solution based. So it's not just seeing there's a crack. There's a crack. Let's go to Home Depot.
Yes.
Let's get whatever we need to fill it and fill it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Love it.
100%. That matters.
Yeah, it does. It does. And during this journey, it's just being able to encourage our moms out there as we are maneuvering through this postpartum journey that you're not alone. The postpartum journey was never intended for us to be alone or to work in silos or in isolation. We have a community. And it's important for us being able to connect, right? So with that said, we have our postpartum groups. We have one that meets every second Wednesday at Total Pediatrics in conjunction partnership with Prego Dance with Dilma, and every fourth Tuesday we are actually at the Heart Center as well with our parents and babies. Come on out. I partner with Therapeutically Beautiful, who runs the sessions. And then we don't leave our partners out because dads are important. Yes. The fathers are important during this journey as well, and they have to be supported and poured into and educated as well. So we have every third Saturday at the Civic Center in Pompano Beach from 11 to 12:30. And that is something where the dads and the kids come on out and we have they have a good time. I'm not there because it's dads, okay? So we want for the community to know that we are out here, and we want you to be able to take part and recognize you have your village and you have support. And I wanted to take this time to thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And this was definitely eye-opening, and it was a pleasure to be in your presence today. And thank you for sharing your knowledge. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. Bye-bye.